What's going on, everybody? It's Chucky Hype, Fresh New Angle Events. We are here with a special edition of Fresh Brides. And today we have one of the freshest. It's Stephanie, and she brought her amazing husband, Dan. We are pumped up. We are fired up. We're going to talk about how it was before, during, and after their amazing wedding celebration a few years ago already over at the beautiful Crystal Point Yacht Club. So without further ado, let me welcome the fabulous Stephanie, aka Strong with Steph. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit when we switch gears and go into our fresh spotlight with her amazing work that she's doing. So hello, Steph.
Hi, thank you for having us.
And of course, oh, I'm so sorry. And of course, this handsome young man right here.
How's it going, man?
Dan. You don't even know. Bulking up right now. So here's the thing about Dan. We have a history because at the wedding, I had Dan on my shoulders. It just felt right, so we did it. And I looked at him today when he walked in the door, and I'm saying, oof, I don't know if I have enough squats in me to get this stud up on my shoulders again. But not for nothing, I might have to try it. Anywho.
Don't inflate his head.
You can
His
try.
head is inflated enough.
Oh, just had a good stretch session before I came here with my beautiful wife. And I'm sure when we talk to Steph a little bit more about her amazing health and wellness that she is doing, she's going to probably talk a little bit about the importance of stretching as well. But I digress. Why don't we just go ahead and relive the whole story?
Let's go.
I mean, I just say, let's go there. Now, I also know, Steph, I know your amazing story to an extent, and share as much as you want to, of course, when we talk about before, during, and after. But we want you to feel extremely comfortable. So, you can go wherever you want to go with this conversation. I know that the day you told me about Dan, because we have a little history before this
we did.
wedding
And I
celebration.
can get into that.
Okay, great. I love that. And I might even get emotional because that's what we do here, because we love people and we love love. But when she told me that she found Dan based off of some of the background and history that I knew about her, I remember my spirit just jumping for joy. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm just
Your
telling you.
spirit was jumping
My
for
spirit.
joy? My spirit was jumping for joy.
Well, we were tag teaming because we were aligned, and then we were, that was the Holy Ghost, just so you know. I'm just saying, if you're into that, that's a real thing, and we love that over here.
Definitely was.
Well, anywho, we want to ask, I'm going to have a couple questions here because I want to make sure that, we kind of touch on what we want to go. But, number one, what was the vibe? What was the vision that you wanted for your wedding day? And we know that you probably had a vision too, but we're going to let our beautiful Steph talk about it.
Absolutely.
So, okay, right off the bat, I'd say my vision for the ceremony was emotional. I wanted it to be God honoring, of course. Our faith has always been very important to us. So I walked down the aisle to Goodness of God. And to this day, I still get like teary-eyed whenever we play in church because it kind of just like symbolizes for me like God has been good through the hard times, through grief, losing my dad. Like that was really hard. And then just, always coming through, answering my prayers and bringing me this wonderful man into my life. So the ceremony was definitely, I wanted the vibe to be more emotional. After the ceremony, I wanted EDM, club vibes, no oldies, and that's what we did.
Heavy sub bass,
Kick drum, lights, the whole shebang. And I wanted to DJ myself, which we can get into later.
Yes, that is for sure. And, take me through, and by the way, thank you for sharing a little bit of that vulnerability there as well, because, that was there's a lot to unpack there, and the goodness of God, and we can talk about that, is a real thing, and especially in my life, and I know your life, and we've all been through challenges, and that's to say the least, right? And still being able to lean in on your faith and the goodness of God, and really just like waiting on God's time and still having to do it now, because we're going to talk about being married and the aftermath and the whole thing in real life and what that looks like. And, you know, we're not going to make this a couples therapy session, but if it goes down that road, it goes down that road. At the end of the day, we are humans trying to help each other. And let me tell you a little side note, goodness of God, just spoke with a bride that we're going to be rocking their wedding coming up next week. And that's their
Oh, nice. The aisle song or the dance?
coming down the aisle, goodness of God. And you know, it's wild. The other day, I had the opportunity to preach at my church.
Wow.
Very cool.
I love that for you.
It's such a blessing because it forces more accountability and it's consistency. And I remember, you know, pastor's been, you know, my guiding light, you know, helping me through the processes. I know the same for you, and challenging me and this and that. And I remember he gave me the opportunity to step in, and actually at the end of our sermon, which was about the Great Commission, we ultimately played that song. I played an EDM version, little tropical house version
Of Goodness of God.
of Goodness of God.
You hooked me up.
I got a whole playlist for you. You don't even know. You don't even know. Trust me.
Incredible.
There's a whole new line of worship music called Rave Jesus.
What?
Side note.
Oh, I'm so in.
Oh, I got you.
I had no idea.
Oh my gosh, get ready. Get ready. All right, I love it. So you don't even know. We were so pumped. I was so excited. And I said, you know, y'all know me in my church. It's Chucky Hype, because the way I am every day is the way I am at church. And I ultimately, you know, we usually open service because I'm the hype man and I get everyone ready for worship, right? Because you don't want me singing. You just want me hyping. And I make a joyful noise. However, we had the opportunity, and I said at the end of this, I said, we're going to do this my way. We're going to play a little version of Goodness of God and send you guys on your way out. So I love it. I'm glad that you brought that up and reminded us of that. Take me through, because as you know, Fresh New Angle, we also specialize in the photography side of things. So take me through your vision and vibe of what you were looking for when it came to capturing the magic, because as you know, we had the amazing John Johnson capturing the magic in the heat. But tell me what your vision was going in, because I remember we had some conversations, and I think we were able to give you the peace of mind that you needed going into that, correct?
For sure. I think for me, and I think for you too, like we wanted a lot of candids. We wanted photos showing the happiness, the story, right? Like I didn't just want like a line of bridesmaids. Okay, do the bouquet. Like I didn't want that basic, overdone, you know, style. And I think John slayed. He did a really good job.
And he did a good job of managing
my
all
mom.
of the personalities involved.
Love you, Mom. What was I going to say? The day of our wedding, it was literally 95 degrees out. It was probably 95% humidity. And he comes in a black long sleeve shirt, kept it on the whole time. I'm like, you can take that off. Like, you don't have to stay professional for me. Like, be comfortable. And he was great. He slayed all the shots. And like he said, we were under a time crunch, and he got it done.
Yeah, and he did it in a way, because a big thing for you that you mentioned too was that like you didn't want to spend the entire cocktail hour like some of the traditional weddings taking photos.
Yes.
Missing the whole cocktail hour. So they got everything, like we got the same amount of photos and the quality of photos, but we got to enjoy the entire cocktail hour. It didn't feel like a work, you know.
And I had 11 girls in my bridal party. So it was a bit much, but.
So basically, I love that because we listen to you, as you know, right? And we understand the important things that you have. And that's what those initial conversations beforehand are all about, because you spent a lot of resources on that amazing venue and on the amazing cocktail hour. And we want to make sure that you had a chance to participate with that. The fact that JJ and our photography team were able to go ahead and move around the cabin with 25 bridal party people and get you through, get you in, get the money shots, which, by the way, there were aplenty. And if you come to our bridal shows, next time you look at our banner, I want you to take a look and let me know if you can find and spot this beautiful couple, because they're there and it's so good. However, I really appreciate that. And it's very important to us because we want to make sure that you're getting out of your experience everything that you hoped for and wished for. And, you know, leading up to your amazing event, like what was it that was really going into the deciding factors of even coming to Fresh New Angle to ultimately say, all right, I want to trust in this company. I really want to give this company an opportunity, because you were out there looking at other opportunities, because that's what you do. You got to do your homework. But what was it that ultimately drew you to sort of choosing us in our organization?
You.
Oh.
No.
How did we meet?
How did we meet? All right, so we're gonna take a little trip to the past. So back in 2017, I think it was, I was engaged to someone else. I was young. He was my first boyfriend, and he was a good guy. You know, can't say anything bad about him. But I think just being young, I was so obsessed with the idea, and I was in love with the idea of being married and being in love. And I think as I grew older, I was kind of in denial, like, oh yeah, we've been together for so long, like these feelings that I'm experiencing are normal, like he's good to me, like let's get married. You know, the house, the honeymoon, the pets, all of it, the whole shebang. And I just got to a point where I was like really convicted, and I would say we weren't equally yoked at that point. And
Side note, equally yoked as far as our spirituality really means on the same page with our faith is really what that looks like.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I just, I put a deposit on you guys, booked the venue at the time, and I was a couple months out, and I just was like, I can't do this. I can't get married. So I called off my wedding, and the next couple years or so, it was just a season of waiting and praying and struggles and going through some frogs. And finally I met him. He was an answer to my prayer. And I was very specific on my prayers, by the way.
Talk about it. Go.
Yeah. So I have a prayer journal, and I would write prayer letters to him every night before bed, like, dear future husband, XYZ, this is my prayer. I'm thinking of this today. I struggled with this today. I hope you're not struggling with this today. I pray that God molds you, into the husband that I desire, and that he molds me into the wife that you need to love you the way that you desire. So I would do this, multiple nights a week. And then we met. Do you want to talk about how we met?
Yeah.
I do want to hear this love story.
Yeah, this is good. So my dad, it's funny because I met her aunt like when I was 20 years old, because she works with my uncle and my dad. And I used to move boxes there, like in and out of college and high school and stuff, for side money. And like I'd known her aunt for a long time and never knew that she existed. And one day, like out of the blue, my dad sends me a text message of her with zero context. And he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, she's very attractive. Like, didn't really know like what he was doing that for. And then he's like, oh, this is Doreen's niece. And I guess simultaneously, Doreen had texted her a picture of me and said something similar. And
she's like, I have somebody for you. I'm like, all right, let's see him.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever good enough for me. I'm picky.
So I was working one day, and a decent amount of time had gone by, maybe like a month or a couple weeks. And she friended me on Instagram. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, clearly, like there must be some sort of interest there. She wouldn't be friending me on Instagram. I have one window of opportunity. So I DM'd her and reached out. And then when I saw that she was a Christian, I saw a verse in her bio. And then she was telling me that she played piano in church. And I was like, you're beautiful. I was like, there's no shot that you're playing piano in your church. Thinking like, because it was just really,
sure.
It was really like, ordained, because there's no other way to explain it. And it was a blind date. We were set up like all you can eat sushi was our first date that we had. And it just was very natural. And we, funnily enough, and this is probably something that you're going to think is hilarious, but not that I'm that type of guy, but I leaned in for a kiss at the end of the night, and she denied my kiss. And then the funny part was, I'd left my car keys in the restaurant, so then she came back with me to go get them, and I was like, all right, I have a second chance. Maybe there was just an issue. Maybe let me just verify this. So I tried to lean in for another kiss. She hugged me. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm friend zoned here. Like, it's not working out. She had a horrible time. So I'm leaving, and I'm thinking this is, I had a good time, but there's no shot that she thought it was a good time. And sure enough, her aunt saves the day because, lets my dad know she did have a good time.
I love it.
And she, God bless her, was able to kind of, smack me into reality and be like, you going to ask me on a second date? And then, all of a sudden, things started being organic, and, it was very effortless. And what was it,
May I just say our first kiss was so awkward.
That's another thing.
I want it. I love it. Let's go.
That's
Give me the
another-
tea.
But okay, devil's advocate here.
Okay.
But who kisses on the first date?
Hey, listen, I appreciate you.
know you.
Hey,
Touch
listen,
my lips.
listen. She was setting the boundary.
She's old school.
I love that.
I'm old school. I'm traditional. Like,
Yes, which I love. And I think the thing for me was like, and again, like not dating always Christian women and kind of like I'd given up on dating at that time. Was like, I just need to take a break, you know, like, and one way that I was able to kind of like verify that there was some interest to the extent of like setting up a second date was not like making out, but just like a peck, like some sort of a verification.
on the cheek.
Yeah, something. So I was like, all right, she denies that. Like maybe she's just not
Right.
into me, whatever. So that got so in my head, in my subconscious, that when we actually did have our first kiss,
Fish lips.
it was like so bad. But I was like, that's not me. And she's thinking, well, that's not me. And thank the Lord that she texted me like the second that I got home, and she's like, I'm sorry, like were we not supposed to kiss? And I was like, thank you for saying that, because I was thinking the same thing, and it was like just a travesty. But it was just this weird, like awkward, almost like sitcom moment. And you know, sure enough, our actual first official kiss was great.
Of
and it's
course.
been all just smooth sailing since then.
I love that. I love that. You know, hey, dear future husband, by the way, hold your horses. I love that. And, you know, it's wonderful because, listen, there's no necessarily right or wrong way. There's no rule book, the whole thing. But it's nice if you have a conviction, you have a way that you want to build the foundation of your relationship and you stay consistent there, that's going to lead to longevity. It's going to lead to consistency. It's going to lead to trust. It's going to lead to a lot of things. It forced you all to have conversations. Look, you had to speak about the awkwardness. You had to understand why, instead of, let's just say the first kiss happens. And by the way, nothing wrong with however you make your approach and make it work. But for your story, it allowed you all to actually talk more and learn more and get deeper. Besides the fact of, let's just say you go right for the kiss and all of a sudden it is amazing and it is kind of a little hot and heavy. And even if it just ends there, there could be some sort of steps that you sort of skip along the way. And I know that from Stephanie's perspective, having to make that really tough decision back in 2017, 18, 19, when there was a good person on one side, another good person on the other, a good family, another good family, and things sort of checked boxes, but something was wrong in the spirit, and able to make that tough but mature decision to say, hey, we need to part ways. Ultimately, I think that gave her the confidence to say, all right, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand firm. I'm going to really lean in on what God says, that ask and you shall receive. And I'm going to go ahead and move at a different pace. So good job, guys. I love it. We did it. We love that. And ultimately, I remember, Steph, you then called me up excited and take us through what that conversation was like when originally, obviously, there was some monies put down towards that original wedding. And you could talk about what we did on our end to sort of maybe accommodate and make that transition a bit easier for you.
Yeah, my mom still talks about that to this day. She says he's a good man for doing that. Yeah, we had put a deposit down the first time, and then I called you up a couple months out, and I'm like, hey, it's not happening, not getting married. And you said, okay, when you do get married, that deposit that you put down can go towards your future wedding. And that's what we did. And honestly, it was helpful. And I'm grateful for that because as brides know, things are expensive, especially now in 2026. And just every little bit definitely helps.
And it was an honor. And we do that often. Really, there are many situations where things like that happen. And we said, hey, why don't we just hold it as a credit for now and just kind of hang in there and see what the next step is. And the beautiful thing about Fresh New Angle is the fact that we do so many services that even if there is a reasonable deposit, right, we do entertainment, we do photo booths, we do photography, we do video, right, we do production. And so there could have been a situation where there was a teen event or there was some sort of family event that you needed to have captured with photography, and we would have been available for that. But it was an honor when you came back to us, and you were so excited. She was so excited the way she talked about you, Dan, and I couldn't have been more excited than to meet you and the whole thing. And it really is cool. How long ago was this wedding already?
2023. So
up on 3 years in
almost
September.
3 years.
Wow. 2023. And I know that it's just, I track you guys. I follow some of the things you're doing. I'm going to talk more about that with your amazing business. And it's just great to see you two, smiling here, talking about this and enjoying this conversation. So I'm pumped, really fired up. Well, so how was the planning process, working with the team? And, I understand working with me part, and we can go into that as well. And I love that. But working with the extended team, I know that there's a management team that sort of helped process things on the back end. And of course, getting closer to the event. But how was it sort of leading up to, the big day?
I'd say pretty seamless. The communication was good. If I had a question, I think I would email, is it Karin?
Yep.
She was great. She's really the only name that I remember just because I was dealing with so many people.
Sure.
But everything was pretty smooth. And obviously I text you if I need something and you answer right away. So that was good.
Absolutely. And I personally was, the event concierge or the sales rep for it. And all of my sales reps do a wonderful job of sort of bridging the gap too with our clients. So if you had talked to one of my other amazing reps, they would have been able to kind of, patch in and connect the dots as well. But it looked like you were about to possibly say something, Dan. I cut you off.
No, it's just piggybacking on what G said. I mean, there's so many moving parts when it comes to a wedding, and especially Steph was very particular about, rightfully so. I mean, it's a big, expense, and it's your one lifetime moment. The music being a certain way, and you did a great job of coaching us to kind of walk the line between, all right, we don't have to do too much of this, but you don't want to have all 10 out of 10 hype songs the entire time. You want to kind of balance it a little bit. And how do you feel about this? Or how do you feel about that? And you were receptive, but you also kind of coached us along through the process.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that because, listen, in my heart of hearts, in my soul, in my vibe, when it's just all about me, which I get it, the wedding is all about you. But in reality, the wedding is for your guests also, because you're hosting an amazing celebration. And just like I'm sure with your home right now, every once in a while you might have people over and you do things and the whole thing and you host, right? You almost cater to the people who are there. And so that's where we as the DJs, we want to make sure the music is appealing to all, but without losing the identity of who we are and what we want to do and all that good stuff. And comes a point in time where we have to sacrifice, grandma and grandpa as far as the music goes and say, all right, we're moving on. And as you say, it's about to get a little turbulent. Oh, look at that look.
I love that song.
Oh, it was so
We were
good.
just listening to it in the car the other day.
The amount of times, probably a couple times a year, she goes on her phone and she just looks at the picture when she was behind the DJ booth, and everyone was just bouncing in unison, and it was so funny and so cool. But
It literally looks like AI. Everyone is in sync on the dance floor. The strobe lights were going. What was it? Turbulence? I
Yeah.
think
Oh, it was turbulence.
And everybody was just bouncing up and down at the same time, and it was just insane.
Oh, so good.
Insane. Energy.
So good. I think I just shared that with you 2 days ago again.
You did.
It came on my feed and I just looked at it and I just remembered that was amazing. And, that sort of started a trend that we pretty much do at most of our weddings. And it's fantastic. We love getting the bride back there, the groom back there, and just having a blast. Of course, we don't force the issue. There are certain bride and grooms that don't want to be super spotlight, and we don't force that on them, of course. But we knew you needed that and you wanted that. And so it was great.
My little cousin, who is just like my sister, because I'm an only child, she just got engaged, and I told her, I said, I'm her matron of honor, obviously. I said, if you do not use Fresh New Angle, I will not be walking down your aisle. I will not be attending your wedding.
What is her beautiful name?
Angela.
Hello, Angela. This is Chucky Hype. I'm talking to you. I would love to have a conversation with you and your family just to learn about your vibe. And listen, if we are the right fit, fantastic. We'll do it. We'll have a great conversation. And if it's not the right fit, we'll make sure that your beautiful aunt shows up and does the thing. But we love you.
Can you just tell her something for me?
Yes.
Just say T.O.B.
T.O.B. If you know, you know. Love it. So, what was the moment during the planning that you thought, okay, this is it? Fresh New Angle is the company.
Well, I think I already knew from the first time. Like, I just had, we've always had that, like, connection, obviously spiritually, but, like, it just felt natural. It didn't feel like a sales pitch. It just felt like two friends talking, and you just I always felt from you that, like, you cared. And it wasn't just, like, a money transaction.
I love that. I love to hear that. Where was it again that we first ran into each other? Was it at a bridal show? I can't quite
Yes.
remember.
Yep.
You don't have to be exact with it, but is that
Yeah, it was a
where
bridal show.
All right.
That's right, fine, you guys.
So we were at one of the area bridal shows, and of course, our beautiful Steph was there, and I
I think I
believe
won something.
you might have won
I
something.
what it was.
We were handing out bottles of wine and things like that too.
Something.
But it was so good, and you know that's a beautiful opportunity and a beautiful place to meet your vendors and to meet me and my team, and so that was great. What do you remember most? And I feel like we've answered this already, but it's fun to go through. What do you remember most about your wedding day itself?
The first look. So I know we said before that I'm traditional, and I was so set on not doing a first look, but I was also set on experiencing my entire cocktail hour. So I caved and we did the first look, and I don't regret it at all because the nerves that I had, like the day of my wedding, were definitely quelled doing the first look. You know, I didn't have my dad there that day, so I was grieving. So I think that time together between me and you, just like privately, was special.
Yeah, and
And,
you did
like-
a good job too, because it was
Yeah.
like 90 some odd degrees out in September, and like we got the shots, we were able to be outside, but like it wasn't taking the entire time. We didn't get so sweaty, like, you know, the makeup would be running and everything like that. It was great.
Was that something that we kind of talked you through with JJ and the kind of process to say, hey, you know, this is why a first look could be a reasonably good choice? So how did you kind of come up with that decision? Because you were so set on ultimately not doing the first look, and we understand why, but what was the inspiration or motivation to kind of say, and it might not have been us, but what was the inspiration to sort of say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to be open to this first look chance?
Well, I think talking to him, he kind of made me realize, like, I'm spending all of this money. Like, you want to enjoy your cocktail hour. I don't like feeling rushed. That gives me anxiety. So I think we just kind of agreed, like, yeah, let's do the first look. And then once we decided on that, I think I kind of just went with it. And I'm like, you know what? This is a good decision. I want that time with him alone. I want that time to pray. I want that time to, like, get my emotions out about my dad not being there. So it was, it all worked out.
I love that. And that is the great debate a lot of times with the first look and the idea of being traditional or not. And I think you summed it up best. And that's the way that we explain it to our future brides and grooms about first look. But ultimately, we know how to move around the cabin. We know how to accompany, or we know how to accommodate what it is they want to do and what you want to do. And if you had chosen to stick to the tradition of down the aisle, we would have still been able to make it work, and we would have figured it out. You would have missed a little bit of that cocktail hour, but because we're efficient and we know how to kind of move you in and around the cabin, we will find a way to make it work. But I'm glad that you did that. It totally does take the nerves away, as you said, correct? And
After the ceremony, I was just like,
Yeah.
And take me through this, Dan, because obviously the first look was private. We were there with the cameras, but other than that, it was really a special moment for the two of you. And I love what you said about then having the ability to kind of pray together, be together, and just kind of loosen up a bit. But take me through when it actually happened and you were standing at the altar and this beautiful young lady presented herself down the aisle. Obviously, you didn't have that as your first look, but take me through the emotions that you felt, and if they were heightened, different, or whatever the case may be. Did you feel like you lost something because you had the first look, or what was it like?
Definitely didn't lose anything at all. Yeah, not even slightly, because it felt like two different experiences that were like completely separate from one another. So the first look was an intimate thing between the two of us, which to me almost served as like a way to calm us both down. but it didn't take away from the special like ceremonial moment of like being up there with the music playing and like
the
seeing her
music.
walk down the aisle. It was like it felt like the first time still, for sure. Absolutely.
I love that you said that because that's exactly my belief of how it really is. It's like two amazing special first opportunities. Am I right?
Totally.
So good. Well, I'm very grateful that you chose that as that specific moment to talk about. It's
Can I
good.
say something?
Yes.
I have a good thought. So, walking down the aisle, like now that I'm like thinking back to it, I don't remember it. Like it's almost like you black out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like if we just did that, I wouldn't remember.
That's
Whereas
a good
the
point.
first look, I remember that time. It wasn't rushed. No one was around. So I got your genuine reaction when you saw me. Whereas if
Totally.
like people were watching, you wouldn't have like shed a tear.
You do behave
You know what I
differently
mean?
when
you
you
behave differently.
Yeah, especially like because I've been playing guitar my whole life, so I played shows and stuff like that. And it does feel like a blur when you're up there. You get off stage and you don't really remember a lot of it, right? Because you're in front of a ton of people. But like this, we had the best of both worlds, pretty much.
I want to echo what you said because my wife and I just celebrated 9 years married.
Ooh,
Congrats.
Rachel, we love you, baby. And little Charlie Hype, you are amazing.
He's so cute.
So good. Thank God. He looks just like my beautiful wife. However, we did something similar. We did not do a first look. However, we weren't concerned about our cocktail hour. At the venue that we chose, we went pretty minimal. We didn't have the amazing spread that you guys had at your amazing cocktail hour. And so we weren't going to miss a whole heck of a lot. However, we did something that I saw one of our brides do back in 2015, and they did what was called a first touch.
Okay.
And what they did was kind of cool. She handed him his favorite deli sandwich from around a corner.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
I
That's
was like,
awesome.
this is great.
I love that.
I love it too. And so we did around a corner a first touch. And we grabbed hands, and that holding of her hand calmed us down and totally was the thing that we needed as well. And ultimately, that's the moment that I remember as well. You say to me, do you remember the coming down the aisle? And to be honest, other than really watching our wedding video, which I'm very grateful that we have, it is a blur, right? I don't. But what I do remember is reaching around the corner and grabbing her hand and feeling peace. So very, very cool. I love that. Well, how did Fresh New Angle help shape the atmosphere and the energy for the day?
I literally asked Steph this as we were parking. I was like, does he drink like a lot of coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Like does he just naturally have that much? You have like this even keeled hype level of energy from like probably the morning, the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And
I don't know how.
it's
I don't know.
awesome, and I'm very jealous of it.
Well, I appreciate that. I love life. I love people. I am just excited. And I do have an off switch here and there. You don't get to see it. Sometimes the wife sees it. Sometimes she makes me have to turn off. She's like, Chuck, you got to shut it down a little bit, guy. We're a little hype. And so that's okay. But I think it is sort of that's my gift. And it could be a curse, I guess, to some people, but I do love it. I do genuinely just have a zest for life. And so I guess it's coming through and it continues. And I believe that that's transferring into my organization. I really have a great team. You saw just the way JJ, who was shooting the wedding, was just energized and fun and excited. The goal here at Fresh New Angle is to really empower fantastic professionals, right? The opportunity to capture and create new memories for awesome people. And we try to kind of stay consistent with that. And, I appreciate the kind words. And, it is definitely, I guess, my MO.
Do you drink coffee?
So here's the thing.
Or are
Sometimes
you just naturally
I am
crazy?
naturally, to be honest, I think the coffee actually doesn't even work for me. If I drink a coffee, it's just because I'm like, it's something to do.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of water, and I'm sure that that's something we'll talk about a little bit later when we get with strong with Steph. and how important water is to just life in general. And so really, if you just did that with a reasonable diet and a little bit of exercise, you really could just be your best version of yourself. But ultimately, yeah, I don't, it definitely isn't manufactured. It's maybe it's the joy of the Lord that's in me. But again, you have that too. And so it's just a way to, it's just me. It's just me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys were so like, the way that I guess I describe it like in one word is like just professional. Like the whole thing was like, you didn't step on the toes of the maitre d', but you almost coached us around the whole process where it's like you guys were driving it, but like it didn't feel like it was being driven. You know what I'm saying? Like it was probably the most professional experience. Like, because I've been to a lot of weddings and like I've never really seen it done in that way, especially with John running around and like coaching people and like, you know, getting the moms back in line and like, you know,
gosh. He
all the
was so good with
bridesmaids,
my
and
mom.
corralling them.
So
and,
good.
yeah, I mean, just knowing the different personalities and everything like that, like it really was, it was flawless.
So good to hear. We really pride ourselves on checking in throughout the event, right? As you saw, we're kind of checking in, taking the temperature, kind of not to a point where it's intrusive or anything, right? But where we know the moments to kind of come up and say, hey guys, here's why we're not sending it for the next 5 minutes, because we need to do these few formality things. So just hang with me. It's going to be great. But just understand there's a reason for this natural sort of lull at this part of the event. And when you're communicating effectively with you and the rest of the guests, that takes the guesswork out, right? Ladies and gentlemen, in about 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and invite people to the dance floor. Why don't you go ahead and finish up that first course? And what that does is it takes the guesswork out of the people that are like, why aren't we dancing? What's not happening right now? I finished my salad. Right. But there's still 14 tables that just took their first bite. Let's give them a chance to have a little conversation. And if you're not feeling it right now, maybe it's go to the bar or go to the photo booth and we get you going in just a little bit.
We've been to so many weddings, and like I think you were mentioning this before, like not to sound cocky, but like we always compare our wedding now to other weddings that we go to, and we're just like, oh,
And so do our friends.
nothing compares.
Yeah, it's true. The amount of times that people said, yeah, I mean, because everyone thinks like that. And again,
Everything was perfect. The cocktail hour, the venue, you guys, John, just the maitre d'. Shout out to Ian. He was great. And DJ Mormilli.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
Mormilli,
yeah.
right?
He did a great
was
job as
great.
well. Wonderful.
Yep. Just everything was really just smooth, even keel, perfect.
Very, very cool. What would you say to another bride that's searching for their wedding team?
Fresh new angle.
there's really not any other choice. I'm being completely honest, because like you guys had a lot of stuff that like we might not have, like we didn't even opt for, that like, you know, it's like a whole different experience. I mean, like the photo booth, I think you had like smoke machines and like all these different things, and like you don't just serve one dish. You know what I'm saying? Like you listen and you prescribe what the person's telling you, but like you offer coaching where needed. And I mean, it seems like you could pretty much swing any style of wedding.
I love that. We'd love to hear. Well, now that it's all over, and we are 3 years removed, what's going on? What's new? What's kind of happening with you guys? What's kind of been the next steps in your life? I believe you got a nice place that you're dwelling at. Tell me what's happening with you two. What's next on the horizon?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, feel free.
So we bought our first house 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I won't say where, but it's in Southern Ocean County. We love it. It's a great area. We have 2 cats now. They're our babies.
The fur babies.
What's
their names?
So my dad's name was Ralph. He loved cats, so I got my first cat, Ralphie. And then I got him a friend named Archie. So Ralphie is like a brown tiger tabby cat, and then Archie is a little orange boy.
Little orange menace.
They're both menaces.
Who's
They're
sweet.
so smart.
Yeah, they're like circus cats.
I got to time out. I got to ask, because we have our beautiful Milo cat, and
Oh, yeah.
we just are in love with our Milo. And we've talked about the opportunity of possibly getting him a companion. However, he's kind of a only child next to Charlie, our son. And what is it like having the 2 cats. Are they boys? Are they boy girl? Like who came first? Talk to me about that because
All right,
this is
so
important.
We got Ralphie when he was about 7 months. I always say the younger they are, the easier it is to introduce because they have less of a like territorial like complex. So they're about like a year apart, and we got Archie as a kitten. We actually, never mind, I'm not even going to talk about that. We got Archie as a kitten, and he was literally like 2 months old, and Ralphie took to him right away.
So,
But you have to be careful. If you get him a companion, I would get a kitten because if you get two adult cats who have their own like territorial complexes, they can clash.
makes sense. I love that advice. To my beautiful wife, Rachel, if you're watching this, this is great information. So it sounds like when we need to bring in a companion for the amazing Milo, it sounds like we need to start with a kitten.
For sure.
It makes sense because, you know,
They're best friends.
And when you're gone,
You know, like we work. I have a hybrid schedule. He's unfortunately full time back in the office now, but you know, it's lonely leaving. I used to walk out the door like in tears, looking at my cat. I'm like, I don't want to leave you for 8 hours. So we got him a friend, and now they're inseparable.
our cat literally opens like the plantation shutters and like looks at like a dog
So
and like, waits
sad.
and like it's sad. Yeah. So I mean, if you go on vacation or something like that, having one another to keep each other company, it really does help.
so what? So we've got the home, we've got the fur babies, we've got the jobs. We're going to be talking about Strong with Steph in our next segment. What else is new or on the horizon for this amazing family of yours?
We we bought the house 2 years ago. We had to do a full flip basically. So like we renovated it, stuff basically customized like everything, and it took an older house. It needed a lot to be done to it into like a beautiful house that we're very proud of. And then obviously she's going to talk about her business in a little bit. But we also serve on our worship team at our church. So it's awesome to be able to play together. So like I play guitar, she plays keys.
Me and my dad used to do that.
Yeah.
He kind of like stepped in.
Yeah.
It's so
That's
good.
special for
it's
me.
so good.
It really is something special. It's very few people get to say that, that you're serving like with your wife on the worship team.
Same spots on stage too, which is kind of ironic.
I love this.
Yeah.
I
I'm on
love
the right
this.
and he's on the other side. That's how my dad was too.
Ralph, we love you. We love you. Thanks for keeping an eye on things.
You're making me cry.
I love this. I remember when it came through. Strong with Steph. We'll get
Strong
there.
with Steph.
No, listen, vulnerability is part of strength. So serving in the worship team, love that. And if there's it's just great. My wife and I, we help out with the children's ministry and things like that. And it is great to kind of, team up in that arena because look, we're called to serve. And so you guys are using this amazing superpower and this amazing gift that God gave to you both to be able to play these instruments. And thank you for that because the worship team and it's crucial. It's crucial for really setting the tone for service and really helping us get into the right frame of mind to invite the Holy Spirit in when we're at service and that. And so it's a blessing kind of twofold because it's a blessing for you to be able to use that superpower, but I know it's a blessing for the people that show up and get fed. So that's amazing. Well, is there anything else you want to share? Or if that's the case, I think we'll wrap this one up and we're gonna switch gears.
Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah,
I canceled an Italy trip.
Yes, we're doing Aruba instead.
Okay.
We're gonna hit Italy at some point. We did Greece for our honeymoon, which is awesome, by the way.
I didn't want to leave my cats for 9 days. So
Yeah, I
we
had
canceled.
limited time off from work at the time. It's the end of the fiscal year, and it gets hectic. So we kind of she made the decision. I was thinking it, but I didn't say it. I was like, whatever you want to do, we're gonna do. But she kind of made that decision.
I've
I'm
been
like,
there.
I'm cool with it.
I've been there twice. I lived there for a little bit, studied abroad. So, I mean, I would love for you to see it at some point, but now just wasn't the time. So we're doing Aruba.
I love what you said, that you had a thought, but you just let her make the call. And I'm still trying to figure that out. 9 years in, sometimes I do that right, and which is great when they just kind of just do the wifey's idea. And let's be real, God gave us the helper for a reason, okay? And so it's good to pay attention to what the wifey is talking about. It really is. I'm just saying, for the boys out there, it's a good plan. It does work out better. I think it's better to be happy than right. Remember that.
And communication. mean, from day one, our relationship. I mean, like one thing we used to do, we still do it unless we're like super tired, but we don't go to bed mad.
Except
So,
last night.
Yeah. Well, because I was snoring.
This man snores like a dead horse. He's like, "Arr."
It's
I'm
true.
like, who made you? Why are you like that?
He was fearfully and wonderfully made, and you know this.
Like,
Earplugs.
I think now that I gained a little bit of weight again, because I've been lifting more,
Mm-hmm.
I'm snoring more heavily, and it's like, yeah, it's a lot.
So this has been an amazing opportunity. It's been an amazing chance to catch up with you two, and it's been a pleasure to kind of follow your story. And I'm looking forward to more amazing opportunities together at events, but also just together in life. So thank you for what you're doing in the community. Thank you for the love that you share, and thank you for sharing your story here with us. And I really appreciate you.
Thank
thank
you.
you for
Thank you so much. Wonderful.